Hello and welcome to another edition of DK and Gray. My name's Dave Kennedy. Gray Morris joins me. Gray, it was a great start to the final series. Nightcliff had absolutely no luck on the weekend.
Amazing it was. They lost players to suspension, lost players to injury. It was a day I'm sure the Tigers will not forget in a hurry.
And they were key players as well. Gilhouse with that hamstring, Kelm to suspension, and Brown also a suspect injury as well.
Yeah, Brown looks like he's gone with ribs, and as you say, the big ruckman with a hamstring. And the interesting case at the tribunal this week, of course, is Mr. Kelm.
What do you think Nightcliff have to do to rebuild in preparation for this week's game?
Well, they're going to have to go right back to basics, pick the team all over again, because they're up against a Waratah team, David, that's on a real roll.
Well, we'll come back to that match, but the first game for preview, the team that beat Nightcliff emphatically, that was Wanderers, and they take on St Mary's, who are undefeated this season. How do you see this game unfolding? Are Wanderers any chance, Gray?
Wanderers are a chance, as I said last week, but they've got to play 4 quarters of football, they've got to use the ball, they've got to run quickly, and also hunt the ball in numbers, because if you don't do that against St Mary's, you're in big trouble.
We know that St Mary's have Ewing, McFarlane, Van Noonan and Willie Rioli up forward. Who's going to kick the goals for Wanderers to match those forwards?
Yes, we were just talking about that before, weren't we? Shane Thorne, of course, is an option. I think he will start full forward actually this week after starting on a forward flank and around the middle last week, but when you look elsewhere, it's hard to find. And
also, obviously, St Mary's with the week off. Do you think that's going to aid them in their preparation for this match at this stage of the year?
I think it will. It's been a tough season. I mean, they won every game, St Mary's, but they've done it hard, and I'm sure they'll enjoy the week off.
Well, that game is here at Marara from 3:15. That game also being broadcast live on ABC One from 3 o'clock. Well, Gray, we mentioned Nightcliff before. They go in without any momentum. A side that does go in with momentum is Waratah, suddenly with 3 wins on the trot.
They are looking very good. They looked very good against Districts last week, of course, when they exploded away to win by 54 points, I think, in the end. It's going to be very hard to beat, I think, the old Tars.
We talked about the loss of those 2 ruckmen. If you're Brenton Toy, do you go in with the same approach with that speed and that craftiness around the ground?
I would, and I would also do what he did to the major players on the other side. I would man up, and it worked beautifully against Districts.
Structurally, they looked really sound. How does Nightcliff counteract that speed in the midfield and up forward for Waratahs?
Well, to do that, they're going to need big games from their big players. I'm talking about Willie Cossack, just goes on and on, young Troy Coates, of course, who played an unusual game last week. He played most of it in a forward pocket, which I thought was a bit unusual, whether he was injured.
What about Grimer? What role do you see him playing? He played in the back line last week. Maybe he could push forward?
No, you're right, he was down back last week. I expect him to start forward because they need goal kickers, Nightcliff. They need to get goals on the board in a hurry, because if they don't, the Tars will just wear them out.
Well, the moment of truth is here, Gray. Waratahs or Nightcliff? Can Nightcliff kick enough goals, or will Waratahs stem the flow?
I think Nightcliff can kick enough goals. I know everyone's against them. Waratahs, as you said, got real momentum, but I still think Nightcliff has got enough on board to beat Waratahs.
And, of course, in the earlier game, Wanderers and St Mary's. You bold enough to tip Wanderers, Gray?
I'm not. I just cannot tip them. St Mary's have been far too good all year and will win the second semi-final.
And make it straight through to the grand final. Well, great. It should be a great weekend of footy. I'm looking forward to it. I know that you are. I'll see you at the footy. But from us here today, I'm DK.
And I'm Gray.
And this is DK and Gray.